wide open conference race. Is that kind of what's going to separate teams, is who can win the most on the road?
You know, Ben, I'm not trying to avoid your question, but we're on to Seton Hall. Road victories are like gold, and I think any coach would agree with that. They're so hard to come by in the Big East, and we feel fortunate we got one. But in this conference, you got to turn the page quickly, or else the excitement that you feel from your last win is going to lead to a loss. So we've turned the page. We're playing a team in Seton Hall that I think has played as hard, if not harder, than any team in our conference. I think they have, besides playing hard, I think they're tremendously connected. I think they have terrific role definition, and obviously they have a star in Miles Powell.
What are the challenges for game planning for a team just after such an emotional loss like that? Do you give the guys more time off? I mean, what? I don't know. You know, it's a game that took a lot out of these guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, a key to our game tomorrow is to be fresh, you know, mentally and physically. But you can prepare for a game in different ways. The very first thing is coming to the realization that the Creighton game's over with, and we have another huge challenge on the way. And so we have to throw our mind, body, and spirit and prepare for them. And we were able to do some stuff physically this morning in practice, and we'll bring them back later and try to really, you know, get even better at what we talked about tonight.
Steve, when do you run out of words for what Marcus does, and when do you run out of limits for what he can do?
Marcus is a special player. He's a guy that has the ability to have magical moments in the game. And like I said, after our last game, I'm past the point of being surprised at that because he's done it over and over again. My message to each one of our guys individually, Marcus included, and to our team collectively, is we still got room to get a lot better. And our focus has always got to be on what's in front of us and what we need to do to get better. Because I think our team has done well. I don't think we are close to playing at the level we're capable of playing. And so I'm certainly not satisfied. I don't think our players are satisfied. I think both of us understand that there's a lot of room for improvement, and we just got to keep focusing on that.
When you talk to him, he's not a me guy. I mean, every single press conference, every single time you talk to him, he's talking about how much the team has played a role in his success. He doesn't care about the accolades. What does that speak to just the type of person he is?
Marcus wants to win. And in order to win, you need a team to do that. You know, as good as he is and as much as we rely and depend on him and as much pressure is on him to deliver, Marcus understands that in order for us to do the things that we're hopeful we're capable of doing, it's going to take a team effort. And so it shows his awareness of that. It also shows his character. He's a guy that is in it for the team, and it's one of the reasons he's really good.
Coach, indulge me just a moment, though. When you're...
You are.
You'll see me tomorrow and Tuesday, by the way. I wish I'd been there. I was watching your buddy lose to Iowa. But anyway,
That is such a low blow.
I know. Well, for me too.
Yeah, touche.
But anyway, what are you thinking on that last play with 0.8 of a second left? I mean, do you think there's a realistic chance? I mean, to even catch and shoot is going to be tough. To get it over that defender is going to be tough. I mean, what are you thinking? We asked Marcus what he was thinking. What were you thinking on that play? When you knew you at least had a chance to tie the game up?
Well, at the very least, at 0.8, you can get a shot off.
Right.
And so we needed to get a shot off. You know, whether or not it went in, you don't know.
Right.
Fortunately, it did, and Sam delivered at a big time level. Obviously, it was an incredible finish to a game, but we had to do a lot of things right to put ourselves in that position. I think it's a great lesson that there's the old cliche, it's not over till it's over. And the reality is most teams or players, when things don't look promising, don't subscribe to that theory. I was proud our team did, because there was numerous breaking points beyond the end of the game where our team could have not given up, but it could have seemed hopeless. And throughout the entire game, we never went down that road. And I think that's a lesson that we can be proud of, and hopefully moving forward. And the other thing is if we're winning at the end of a game, don't assume that it's over,
Right.
because basketball has a funny way of punishing you if you think that it's over before it's over.
Yeah, I mentioned to Marcus, I said, you guys were down the entire time until overtime. And like you said, there were other breaking points. I think I was watching the tape, you were down 10, you were down more. It didn't look good even earlier, and the team kept fighting, right?
Yeah, and that's something that we've shown through the season. We haven't necessarily shown that on the road, but that's not the first time where our team has encountered adversity, whether it's because of self-inflicted wounds or whether it's because the other team was playing great, which Creighton was. I mean, Creighton played a terrific ball game, and one of the reasons that I think the game, besides the drama that ensued, people appreciate the game because it was as high a level college basketball game that's been played to this point in the season. I mean, you can't watch that game, even if we would have missed the shot and said that wasn't an incredibly high level, well played game. It was, and it's an honor to be a part of games like that.
What's the key to stopping Miles Powell?
I was going to ask you the same question. Great player, incredible shooter, has gotten so much better with the ball, can really put the ball on the floor and finish. I think when teams crowd him, he's doing a great job of making good decisions and finding guys and making his teammates better. There's really not an area of the game that he's not excelling in. That's why he's one of the top guards in the United States. You just gotta make it harder on him. You can't give him anything easy, and that's a lot harder to do than to say. He's a great player, and Kevin puts him in tremendous positions, and his teammates do a fantastic job of screening for him and getting him open and just giving him a little bit of airspace. And that's all he needs to punish the other team. So we got our hands full, that's for sure, and it's going to be a real challenge. But he rightly so has gotten a ton of credit. I think Kevin's done a great job with the team. They're playing hard as can be, and they seem like a really connected group. They're not going to be a fun team to play by any stretch of the imagination, but as somebody that enjoys watching basketball, if I wasn't playing against them and we weren't competing against them, they're a fun team to watch.
We didn't know what to expect out of the Seton Hall team because they lost so many 4 stalwart players from last year. Are they playing differently, a different style than they have in the last couple of years with all those guys that they had?
Well, with the Delgado, they played a lot through the post, and Rodriguez posted a lot too. They had great team size. They're really moving the ball, sharing the ball at a high level. Defensively, in my personal opinion, I think they're better defensively this year than they were last year. And they all seem to know what they're supposed to do in terms of their role. And more than that, they seem to be embracing that at a high level. And so when you have a team that's playing really hard and they're tough and guys that embrace their roles, and you have a guy that can win a game for you, sometimes almost single-handedly, that is a recipe. It's a damn good recipe.
Steve, at one point in this conference, you had Ray Allen, Allen Iverson, Kerry Kittles as like our 90s wheelhouse. At least they can ask you this question because you and I are of the same age. But not what they went on to do, because all those guys were tremendous in the NBA, but Howard, Powell, and Pons with what they're doing, is it hearkening back to some of that legendary Big East guard play, or just the level that these guys are playing at? Is it, can that be said?
I think our conference has the best guards in America. I mean, you mentioned those three, and those three for sure deserve the attention they get because they've earned it. But then you're talking about Kamar Baldwin and Strus and Alexander from Creighton's gotten a whole heck of a lot better. I mean, really good. You know, the young guards at Providence and Diallo. I mean, our conference, the young guards at Georgetown have put up crazy numbers for freshmen. You know, it's you know, and obviously Villanova's Villanova. I mean, that's like, you know, they're always good, and they always have great guards. And Phil Booth is having an incredible year in conference season. I mean, you go down the line, you hate to leave anyone out, and I probably have, but you just go through our conference. The guard play in our conference is not fun for me, with the exception of Marcus and our other guards, but it's certainly got to be fun for fans and good for the Big East.
As the season rolls on and you guys kind of evolve as a team, you knock off these ranked opponents continually, you see what you guys did against Creighton. Are you guys playing with a different type of swagger than you kind of maybe anticipated when you opened the season?
Well, I think our team has gained confidence through accomplishment. And, you know, a lot of times the saying is like you got to give your team confidence, you got to give a player confidence. In my experience, you get confidence through accomplishment. And our team has accomplished some things by beating high-level opponents. And as a result, I think they feel better about themselves and our group and the potential of the group. By the same token, I think our team realizes that we're far from a finished product.
Does it help when you've played Shamori preparing for another one of those top guards?
Well, they're different. You know, I mean, Shamari is a guy that scores a lot with extended dribbles, and the ball's in his hands a lot. The ball's in Powell's hands a lot. But the thing that I'm so impressed with him is the way he moves without the ball. And he's in unbelievable shape, and he's obviously got a great motor because he's nonstop movement. He reminds me a little bit, not exactly, but of how Redick used to move without the ball. I mean, he's so good at it. And so in that, you know, are they great players? Yes, they're both great players. Do they do it the same way? No, they don't. However, they're equally effective.